Hi, I'm Ed Stetzer, and I'm here with Steve Timmis at St. James Clerkenwell here in London. We're doing our Dwell conference today in London, and so honored we could be here. Thank you. You just did a wonderful session inside, and many of you would know Steve from his book Total Church, the Porterbrook Training Network for Church Planners, Crowded House, got some churches that have been planted there, and Acts 29. Western Europe. So tell a little bit what God's doing, how you're encouraging people to get on mission, the church planting training. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, the whole thing really is, what binds it all together is church planting, gospel expansion, effectively. That's what I'm passionate about. That's what I want to see other people get passionate about, is getting the good news of Christ out. And the best way to do that is through planting new churches. That as the gospel goes out, church plants grow up, who then plant more churches. We are God's mission strategy as His church, and that means all of us. So let's get on and do it. So Porterbrook is equipping them. Acts 29 is about envisioning them, trying to get them into a network where they can really support one another. We're looking to expand that around Western Europe. And just ordinary people doing gospel ministry.
That's a good word. And one of the things that I have noticed is, in Total Church in particular, you really seem to have an idea of this, missional incarnational community, all God's people on mission. Yeah. It seems to be kind of an all hands on deck feel towards the mission of God, and I love that. Too often we've said to people that their job is to pray, and get out of the way while the professional leaders can get it done. And so encouraged by that in Total Church and the mission and ministry that you've led here. How can churches and pastors that from other parts in the world, we see Europe, and Europe is a very post-Christian context. And so how can they get involved in helping church planting efforts here in Western Europe?
One of the things I find myself saying increasingly is, particularly to guys in the States, is that we are your future. That we are incredibly post-Christian. There's a great deal of hostility, indifference, antagonistic indifference to the gospel. There are 400 million people in Western Europe with less than 5% church attendance across the continent. And there are cities in England where it's less than 1% church attendance. Incredibly barren areas for the sake of the gospel. And we want to populate them with communities of Christians who are being good neighbours, who are living as lights in a dark world. Also, in terms of the Porterbrook, that material is running in various sites in the States, and it's written to help you, equip you to be gospel ministers. And it's a resource that we kind of make freely available.
So people can get trained, more information. The Porterbrook site has more information, and they can get involved and engaged in partnerships and planting churches in Western Europe through Acts 29 Western Europe. And also we can be praying for that and for you. So
please pray.
We appreciate you so much, and want to encourage you to get involved. Step into some of those roles. When we look in Western Europe, we see a very different context. We see the rise of other non-Christian faiths, certainly a robust expression of those. We probably hear most in the news about the Islamic faith, but it's more than that. We have the decline